I'm glad you've joined us for today's episode of the Attic Fables podcast. Today's story touches on a sensitive issue. What do we do when our children get into trouble? I'm talking about our teenage or adult children. If you've ever driven through a long dark tunnel, then you know the welcome sight of sunlight that greets you at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes life can be like that long dark tunnel. When you're going through it, all you can see is darkness. Maybe you find yourself in this kind of situation. Maybe you're facing a time of darkness right now. You're going through a difficulty that seems like a long dark tunnel without any end. The good news is there is light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe a long way off, but you've got to believe that someday you'll get through the trial and once again be in the light. Sometimes life gets hard. For a parent of a wayward teenager or adult child, one of the hardest things is to learn that they've chosen a path that seems to be leading them into danger and darkness. I have friends whose teenage son was arrested and sent to prison. I have friends whose son was missing for weeks. No one knew where he was. No one knew if he was hurt or if something bad had happened or if he was all right. My own adult children have had problems that were beyond my ability to handle alone. The pain of these trials can be unbearable. It feels as if your heart is being ripped apart. The feeling of despair can be overwhelming. You wish you could fix the problem, but there's nothing you can do. Sometimes there's very little anyone can do. When there seems to be no answers or solutions, all we have left is pain and feelings of hopelessness. When the bottom drops out and it feels like you're being hit by a ton of bricks, don't give up. You may not be able to handle it alone, but God can. I believe that if you turn to God, He will give you the strength to make it through this difficult trial. The Bible says, give all your worries and cares to God because He cares about you. He loves your children more than we could ever love our own children. He loves them. We can trust God that somehow He'll make a way through the darkness. Just seek God. Trust Him. The darkness may seem long and lonely, but God will be with you, and He will give you the strength to make it through the storm. You just have to believe that no matter how dark it gets, there's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm Steve Lorenz. I've been there. I know what it's like to go through the darkness, and I'm here to tell you that there is light at the end of the tunnel.